Teddy Rubskin here, your Sega Genesis geek, and yeah, today we're talking about Lethal Enforcers, yeah! Lethal Enforcers, yeah. Which, actually I have complete in the box, which is one of the prized pieces of my, Sega Genesis collection. It's absolutely awesome, you know? This big-ass motherfucking box, you know? Put it next to another Sega Genesis box, and it looks so small, you know, because this box is just so fucking massive, you know. It's complete. I got that big-ass awesome blue gun, the Justifier, plus the game and the instruction manual. It's fucking great, yeah. So glad to have this, even though it's not that great a game. Yeah, I know, it's not that great a game, yet it's still one of the prized pieces of my Sega Genesis collection. What's that, Ted? What's up with that, right? Well, it's because of its historical significance, you know what I mean? I mean, it's a great game in the history of video games. Because Lethal Enforcers, along with Mortal Kombat, were the first games that actually brought up the whole concept of violence in video games, you know? When these games came out, they both came out in the arcade, actually. Mortal Kombat and Lethal Enforcers were both originally arcade games, right? This is when people first started talking about violence in video games, you know? Because before that, with games like Donkey Kong, in the age of Donkey Kong, nobody really talked about video game violence, because the graphics weren't even that good. But Mortal Kombat and Lethal Enforcers both used photographic graphics, right? They actually used digitized pictures of real people in the fucking game. So when you were shooting people, you were actually shooting real people in the face. You know, that's what got fucking politicians and parent groups really concerned about these games. Because there were kids shooting real people in the face. Like, oh my god. Right? Yeah.
Automatic.
And when these games actually came to the home system, that's when the video game industry really had to create a fucking rating system. Like overnight, they had to create a rating system, otherwise they couldn't release them on the home system, right? So yeah, Lethal Enforcers and Mortal Kombat were two of the first games to ever get the rating on them, right? Now, Mortal Kombat is rated MA13, parental discretion advised, right? But Lethal Enforcers is rated MA17. Yeah, not appropriate for minors. Yeah. So while fucking Mortal Kombat is basically the equivalent of a PG-13, fucking Lethal Enforcers is rated R. R. Yeah. So, you know, pirates only go see R-rated movies? R, me matey. Right? Yeah. It's true. Pirates only go see R-rated movies. It's true, you know. You ever see a pirate go see a G-rated movie? They don't do it. Yeah, anyway, what the fuck was I talking about? Oh yeah, Lethal Enforcers. Yeah. And Mortal Kombat. You know, they have more in common than just that. You know, both Mortal Kombat and Lethal Enforcers are also based on movies, sort of. Right? I mean, Mortal Kombat is kind of like Bloodsport meets Big Trouble in Little China. Yeah. Actually, the guys behind Mortal Kombat actually originally wanted to make that game based on fucking Bloodsport.
Come here! Flawless victory.
Yeah, but they couldn't get the rights to that movie, but you could still see subtle winks in the game, you know. Johnny Cage is kind of like Jean-Claude Van Damme, you know. Johnny Cage, Jean-Claude. And Liu Kang is kind of like Bolo Yang. Sort of, right? As I said before, that kind of Liu Kang is like Bruce Lee, but, you know, do I have to tell you again about the Bolo Yang Bruce Lee connection? Fuck no, I don't. And there's also some connections to Big Trouble in Little China, right? I mean, this guy totally inspired Raiden. I mean, come on, right? And this guy, that's totally just like Shang Tsung, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so it's Bloodsport and fucking Big Trouble in Little China as a video game, right? And fucking Lethal Enforcers is totally like fucking Dirty Harry, right? Yeah, Dirty Harry. I mean, that guy on the cover right there, that's totally Dirty Harry, like pointing a gun at you. You know what I'm saying? In the title screen in the game, looks just like the opening credits of the second Dirty Harry movie, Magnum Force. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Very clear connection right fucking there. And this is totally fucking Dirty Harry's gun. Yeah, this is a Magnum 45, the most powerful handgun in the world, and would blow your head clean off. Yeah, so, do you feel lucky, punk? Yeah, I know that's not actually the line. I'm kind of paraphrasing there. The actual line from the movie is, you gotta ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Right? And then he says, well, do you, punk? Right? But what if I say, do you feel lucky, punk? You know what I'm talking about. I don't have to be exactly right with my fucking movie quotes, So like Darth Vader never said, Luke, I am your father, right? He said something slightly different than that, but that's the fucking point. Now I really shouldn't have to justify why I wanted to get the Justifier, you know what I'm saying? Because it's badass, yeah. And actually got the whole thing for like $15, I got the gun in the box with the instruction manual and both fucking games. Yeah, both games. I got the original Lethal Enforcers and the sequel, Lethal Enforcers 2, Gunfighters, which is just like the first game, except it's set in the Old West. Get back, pull him away! Ow! No! Ow! You ain't gonna get me! Ow! Yeah, I got the whole thing for like $15, which is pretty fucking great, Yeah, because I've seen it going for like 40 fucking bucks. Jesus Christ, that it's kind of expensive. Plus, it doesn't include both games, I got the original and the sequel. Because the fact is that these games really don't go for very much. Each game goes for like $2 or $3. Because the impression is that Lethal Enforcers is kind of worthless unless you've actually got the fucking gun, right? Yeah, if you don't have the fucking Justifier, then fucking the game is pretty worthless. But that's not entirely true. In fact, the game plays very well with just the controller. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. In fact, if I play 2 players, which, I only have the one gun, so somebody's got to use the controller, and who's ever using the controller typically does a lot better, Because with the gun, you got to fire off screen in order to reload. But with the controller, it's just a button, so you can keep your crosshairs on your target and just push the reload button and keep on firing, Because that's the thing. If you want to play 2-player Lethal Enforcers, you can't just go out and buy 2 blue guns, right? It doesn't work like that. Because the controller fucking goes in the first player port and the second player port. That's where the Justifier goes, right? If you want to play 2-player Lethal Enforcers, you gotta buy a whole separate gun. The pink gun is the second player fucking Justifier, right? And it doesn't plug into your Sega Genesis at all. In fact, it plugs into the handle of the fucking first player Justifier. It's got kind of like this, like a telephone port, right? And, yeah, pink gun plugs into that, right? And actually, since I got the instruction manual, I have a fucking, the order form for a 2-player Justifier, right? Yeah, there's a little thing where you could cut out and send it in for a, second player Justifier, right? Right, and, it costs, $11.95 plus $3 postage and handling, and, 6.5% sales tax for people in Illinois? What the fuck? Just because I live in fucking Illinois, I gotta pay an extra 6.5 sales tax? Oh, fuck me. Fuck you guys. What the fuck? But yeah, whatever, there you go. Yeah. Didn't really show you much of the gameplay in this video, but that's not really the point. It's not what we're talking about. It's just the fact that I'm really happy to have Lethal Enforcers complete in the box. Because it's awesome, it's historically significant, and that fucking big blue gun is fucking legendary. It's fucking great. And, yeah. Anyway, till fucking next time, keep it real.